You can't have what you don't already have. In other words, the universe, your 3D reflection, it can't show you anything that you don't already know that you have within. And I'm saying energetically. And this sounds so obvious and simple, but yet everything that you're probably doing, like any affirming or technique or anything, all you're doing is you're saying you don't have it. And it makes logical sense to keep saying, you know, I need to focus on it. I need to affirm. I need to keep my attention on it, because that's what we hear, right? That you gotta, where energy goes, you know, energy flows, or where your attention goes, energy flows, right? So all of these sayings and everything make sense. So we keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, all in the effort to try to make something happen. But the joke is, the game is, this is the big game, because we're all in a big game. That's it. We're all in our own game. The game is that the reflection, the mirror, can't show you anything that you don't already have. So when you already have something, you're still, you're chill. You're not thirsty, you're not hungry, you're not looking for it, you're already satisfied, you already have it. So one of the things that I want to share with you, and it took me a while to really grasp this, and I've studied so much for so long, as many of you know, that, you know, that my background is as a therapist, and I've been studying the laws of the universe for years now, and I've been a coach, and I've always been intrigued with combining them, because everything's connected, right? And so the mind, I was first working with the ego before I began to be a coach. So I was working with a person at the ego level, let's say, with the identity that they thought they were. And that was the identity that I thought I was. I was performing as an ego when I was a therapist. And I was working with people's egos, trying to get them to feel better about themselves, trying to help them, you know, heal from something, from some trauma or depression or anxiety or stress or whatever it is, right? But I was always working with the effects. So I was moving effects around, really. People would come into me and tell me they would feel something, and I was just using other effects to change their effects. And it would work. And until they would have something else happen in their life, and then they were back to this, you know, to trying to figure out what's wrong now, that kind of thing, right? The difference is from being a therapist to transitioning into what I do now and talk on this channel. And I love sharing what my awareness shows me every single day. I wake up with constant downloads, and it's almost to the point where it happens so fast that I can't keep up with the amount. Like, I could create thousands of videos based off of all the downloads that I get now, but it wasn't always like that. And I'm just more aware of all that I am, all that we are. And the more that you become aware of all that you are, you begin to see things, and you'll shuffle around old crap, you know, like restrictive thoughts, and that feel very constricting. And then you're like, you already know, like in 1 second, I already know if I continue with that thought where it's going to go, nowhere. So, but going back to what I was saying, you cannot see what you're not being first. And it's really freaking annoying, because who doesn't want to claim that they are something, and then you feel stuck and trapped that you're like, wait, am I doing it wrong? Like, I'm affirming it, I'm visualizing it, and so how come I'm not seeing it? It almost feels like you're gaslighting yourself sometimes when you're first coming into this information, and I totally get that, because I felt like that for a while. I felt like I was going fucking crazy sometimes. But the simplicity of it is the annoying part of it, is that once you decide that you are something, that you have something, then it can reflect it back to you. And I'm going to share with you, my take on how I do that and what really helped me, because it's just flat out, you guys. There's no secret. There's no special sauce here. There's no secret to any of this. And it boils down to the simplicity of it, which is, like I said, it's completely annoying, because you're just like, of course I want it. Of course I want to be that thing. And it's not like you're trying to not do it, right? And so I get a lot of the frustration from many people in their comments and stuff about, you're like, well, what's the secret? There is no secret. And it's so simple. It's as simple as you just deciding that I'm that, because I am, those words are the operant power to have anything. And it really is as simple as deciding I am that thing. What happens after you say that is where the problem is. In other words, is where people create problems. There's no problem in place. You create a problem after you declare what you are, whatever it is that you desire, right? If you say, I am wealthy, that's it. That's as simple as that. But we have a tendency to create problems after that. And the reason that you create problems, for example, you'll say, but how many times do I have to say it? How do I say it? Do I have to feel it when I say it? Can I just robotically say it? How long is it going to take? Have you done it? Do you have people that have done it? Let me look for people that have done it. You go down this endless rabbit hole that leads you to nothing every time you ask a question. So the game is you really got to learn to, I'm saying this with love, you got to learn to shut your mouth. You got to learn to be quiet and know that you declared something, and that's it. That's all you have to do. But here's the trap. Your mind is going to say a million things. Your mind is going to say a million things. It's going to say you don't have it. It's going to say, good luck, Chuck. It's going to make you go look at your bank account. It's going to make you check your phone. It's going to show you the bills that you have. It's going to show you that you have a deadline. It's going to show you that you don't have money for food. It's going to show you shit on the news, on the media, that the shit's hitting the fan, that you're screwed. It's going to show you all kinds of crap. And it's just old crap. I look at it as one or two things. It's either clickbait. It's showing you all those things so you can click on it and distract yourself and not be aligned to what you want, right? Or you can look at it as, that's the old identity. That's my old story talking. So when your mind is yakking and fear, worry, doubts, thoughts, all that stuff is happening in your mind, that's your ego. That's not higher self. Source. Source speaks to us energetically through nudges, feelings, inspiration, and it's always pure. That voice that you hear in your head with the doubts and the questions and the anxiety and all that, that's your ego. That's that identity, the old version of you, trying to distract you from you remaining in your wish fulfilled, let's say, in your desired end. So I want you to know that those kind of thoughts and feelings will never just go away. In fact, you just want to get comfortable with them being there and allowing them to be, because they're not going anywhere. So stop looking for a video to get your thoughts to shut up or to get your feelings to change. That's what I did as a therapist. I helped people stop feeling a certain way that they didn't want to feel anymore. And I would teach them how to do that. But then something else in their life would happen and they would feel it again, or they'd feel something else again that they felt like they weren't in control. So you're just constantly chasing your tail when you're trying to change the effects, the feelings and the thoughts and the conditions. It's just like it's just like a cat chasing its tail thing. It's like until you stop, the conditions and your circumstances aren't going to stop. It will just keep perpetuating over and over and over and over again until you stop reacting and engaging the same way that you were. It's just flat out. So one thing that really I heard for so long that I want to share with you, one thing I heard for so long was that whatever it is that you desire, if you want money or a SP or whatever it is that you desire, you only desire it because you want to feel a certain way. So I know you've heard that, right? So the thing is that people argue even that point. It doesn't matter why you want it. You want it because you want it or whatever. It doesn't matter. The thing is that's true. The thing that you want it because you think you're going to feel a certain way, or your life's going to have a certain vibe to it, right? You're going to vibe. It's just you're going to feel excited, happy, or you're just going to be like, laid back or whatever. And the thing is though, is what people tend to do is because I can go down a rabbit hole on this for so long, but I'm trying not to. The thing is that when you hear content and people talk about this, like let's say, I'm just going to stick to the money thing because I don't like going off on different tangents because I'll lose my focus and I'll lose yours. So let's stick to I'm rich, okay? Or I'm wealthy. What does being wealthy mean to you? Because if you're watching people on YouTube, whether it's a coach or your neighbors or your family or whatever, or TV or movies or anything, right? And you have an idea in your head of what you think being wealthy is, you think that's what wealthy is, it could feel very far like impossible. Like it could feel everything is possible, okay? I'm not saying it's not possible. But a lot of people are not getting anything that they want. And I think this is part of the reason. This is a two-part answer that I want to share with you guys. And this really, let's get activated my power to another level. Right? When you are hearing that or seeing people have money, right? For some people, what a lot of people don't understand too is being wealthy means a lot of things. Being wealthy and having money comes with a lot of responsibility. And it comes with a lot of responsibility, and you have to manage that money. And you have to think about, investing it, because most people just think I'm just going to spend it. But the truth is that when you're wealthy, that's not how you think. You think about, how do I invest it? What do I do with this money? Where do I put it? Yeah, you'll use some of it, but you're going to have to ask questions like, do I talk to a financial person? What kind of person do I talk to? Do I invest in real estate? Do I invest in stocks? Do I pay my bills off? Do I use credit cards? You're going to have so many questions that are going to come at you. Because there was a time where I was in debt and I didn't have those kind of problems. My problems were like, how am I going to make the minimum payment, right? And then I went from that to, I don't have debt, and now I have a surplus of money. And then your problems are new problems, right? It's just not problems, it's just stuff that you are responsible for. Your responsibilities change. But nevertheless, you still have a responsibility. And And this was a tricky one. When you have that new responsibility of wealth or money of any kind, right? It doesn't matter if you only are used to having $100 and now you have $100,000, whatever the amount is, that's not the point, right? But now you have this new level of responsibility. And what are your beliefs around responsibility? And what are your beliefs around being successful? Because if you're just like, ugh, like I would love to own a business. This is an example. I would love to own a business, a lot of people say, but when they get to it, when they see what it takes to open a business, run a business, be responsible for taxes, employees, paychecks, paying for things, hiring, delegating, outsourcing, there's so much more than you see, right? A lot of you guys just see, like, for example, the video, right? But everything else that leads up to it, you guys don't see that. So a lot of people are just get lazy and they're just like, ugh, I don't want to have to do all that. I just want someone to do it for me. Well, you still have to go figure out where to find those people to do things for you. And then you got to hire the right people. And then you got to look for the right people. And then there's a lot more, there's layers upon layers behind it. And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying this is something that you want to ask yourself, because a lot of you might be repelling the thing that you want by thinking of success as being a lot of responsibility, burden, and you're just like, I don't want to do it. And that's okay, right? That's okay. And same thing with relationships. If you find success as a burden or something that has a big price tag behind it, because believe it or not, you can, right? A lot of people think success is easy, but most people think success involves a lot of hard work and labor. So since the universe doesn't compartmentalize anything, success, if you view success as it comes with a heavy price tag, that it takes blood, sweat, and tears to do it, well, that's going to be the same thing for if you're wanting a relationship, a successful relationship. So now you have it in your head that success is a burden. So you want to ask yourself, like, okay, I gotta check in with myself and see, do I want that? Because a lot of people think I just want the money and then everything's going to be perfect and all my prayers are going to be answered with all the money that I get. But then you're going to have these new things that come open. Same thing, people want a relationship, and then, after they get to know each other and blah, 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 it's like, then you're just talking about money and where do you want to live, and then your in-laws and friends and family and holidays and cultures and religions and all these different things that you have to work together with your person and have your needs met. They want their needs met, right? And then that's where people start beginning to think that relationships are hard or a burden. So these are just examples. These are not facts. These are just examples that I'm giving for you to ask yourself. So, but what really changed everything for me, and this is what I wanted to share with you, is you can't have what you don't already have. All right? Well, you know that. But here's the thing. You can easily go give it to yourself right now. And I'm going to share with you right now how you can do that. You can give yourself whatever it is that you want. And this is where that question that I share often on my channel of what would it be like if I were that person? So what would it be like if you had money? Well, in standing from the place that you are right now, let's say that you only have $100 or whatever to your name, and you want $2 million, let's say. It's totally possible, right? But you want to ask yourself, does that feel impossible? And it's okay. If it feels impossible, you can assume it anyway. But if you're feeling a lot of resistance, like, no freaking way, that's not freaking happening, why not go from $100 to, let's say, $50,000? And this is just, I'm not saying that that's all you want. I'm saying try to imagine yourself having that extra $50,000 now. Because what you want to go for is it feeling normal and natural, right? And a lot of teachers like Neville talked about the naturalness of something. So you want to go like, okay, what would it be like to have $50,000? Knowing that you want 2 million, right? But what would it be like from where I'm now to having $50,000, right? What does that feel like, right? To know that I have that. Maybe I pay some bills off, or I buy myself a car, or whatever it is that you're thinking. You're just like, and when you think about it more, it becomes feels doable, feels natural to you. And that's a really good thing. You want to spend a little time there because you want to elevate from where you are, right? So, and once you've been playing with that, you're just like, well, shit, if I can have $100 and I can have $50,000, I could have $200,000. Then you play around with that, because you see, the whole idea is for you to feel natural. And what am I doing there? I'm going within and getting it, giving myself whatever it is that I want. I'm not waiting for the bank account to show me. I'm not waiting for someone to drop the cash off for me. I'm going in and getting it and giving it to myself. I'm not waiting. Because a lot of you are waiting for the thing to come into your 3D reality before you can feel like it's true, like it's possible, doable, or whatever. Because otherwise, a lot of you guys are just, and I used to do this too, it's like, it just feels like a phony fantasy that it just doesn't even feel doable. It's like there's no expectation whatsoever. When I would imagine something, I'm just like, that's not gonna friggin' happen, right? It just didn't, and I wouldn't say those words, I just felt that way, like, this is not gonna probably happen. Even though I wanted to believe and I knew everything and I knew how everything works, I would sit there and feel like it's not gonna happen. I'm like, whatever. I would just keep doing it and having that feeling of no. However, when I went in and I started saying, okay, I do this with conversation with people from what I feel like, people from my past, or conversations with people now, or with money, with health, with my body. I do this with everything now, and I just go in and I'm like, what the hell am I waiting for? Right? And this is what I want you guys to pick up. What I'm putting down here is, what are you waiting for? Why are you waiting for someone to tell you that they love you? If it's a specific person, why are you waiting for them to show up and call you and text you and tell you that they love you and they want to marry you, or they want to ask you out and take you on a date, or whatever it is? Why are you waiting for that to happen? You shut your eyes, you go within, and you go get that shit yourself. You go in, you hear what you want to hear. You hear that person telling you whatever it is that you want to hear. And you tell yourself in imagination, you hear them saying that thing to you until you feel so smuck and so satisfied and fulfilled. And you'll know it, because you'll feel like you're like, damn right you want me, damn right you love me. You're not just saying it to try to feel better. That's all BS. What you blab around on videos or you talk around and you're like, yeah, that's right. No, I'm saying you go within imagination. You hear that person telling you whatever it is you want them to say to you. And that's what Neville was talking about. You go within and you fulfill yourself with it. You feel the satisfaction and just like, I'm so content, and almost like smuck that I got what I wanted, damn straight feeling. It's not so much about those words, it's about you feeling you're like, yeah, that's right. I just went in and took it. I went in and I did the self-serve checkout and gave myself whatever the fuck I wanted. And once I feel that, and I might have to return to it whatever amount of times until I feel the satisfaction of it. And then I leave and I'm good. So at that point, if you're fulfilled and you're good because you just gave yourself what you want, you're just like, I don't need them to call me. I don't need them to tell me nothing. I don't need to hear it out of their 3D mouth. I already gave it to myself. I already heard it. I'm already satisfied. I'm good. And when you're good and you're satisfied like that, you're going to notice you're just going to move on in your life and do whatever the hell you want because you already gave it to yourself. You're satisfied. But how you know that you're not satisfied is if you're still looking, you're still wondering, but you still need the 3D version of them to do it to you. You still need it, you need it, you need it. You're still not satisfied. And that completely defies everything that Neville Goddard was trying to say to us, is that you go in, you give it to yourself, and you don't ask permission. You just go in and get it in imagination. And you give it to yourself until you feel that satisfaction. And that satisfaction is what causes the shift naturally of letting it go, naturally detaching from it, not because you forced it and you tried to detach. I'm doing this to detach. I'm doing this to let go. No, you go in because you know how this works. I don't wait around. I go get my shit, give it to myself. I'm not waiting around for nothing and no one. And this is the same thing with money. You go in and you can, for example, use your bank account, and you look at your bank account and you say, the hell am I waiting for? I have my imagination. My mind is God's mind. As I'm looking at my bank account, what do I want to see? So I can close my eyes and imagine myself looking at my computer or my phone and seeing the numbers that I want to see. I don't wait for the bank account to tell me that I have the money. I have the money. And if you're not good with what you did within, then one, you just keep doing that. That's the persisting part, right? But it's not, I'm going to force it. No, you go within. But here's what really helps everything is knowing that your imagination is the only reality. That's it. What you do within is the one and only authority. It's the governing authority over all realities, over all identities, over everything and anyone. Your imagination is the one and only governing authority over everything. Even if it feels and seems like you don't have control, even if it feels and seems like nothing is happening, even if it feels like it's not true, it's not real, even if it feels and seems like that, you do it anyway. You go in and you give it to yourself, and you can outwardly admit to yourself, it feels like this isn't real. It seems like this isn't true, but that's okay. One of my favorite quotes from Nelson Mandela, he said, everything seems impossible until it isn't. Something like that. Don't perfectly quote me on that, right? But it's something like that. So everything feels impossible until it's not. So in other words, anytime you do something new or different, it feels hard. It feels impossible. It feels like it's not going to work. And however, I noticed that when I just started admitting that to myself and saying, if this feels hard, this feels like no freaking way. But I'm like, but who cares? I'm going to do it anyway. Why? Because one of my favorite scriptures is, with God, all things are possible, right? Out of my own free will, I can do nothing. But with God, all things are possible. So I turn right to God. I always say, you know what? I can't freaking do it. I can't. By myself, I can't do shit. I can't do none of this. I don't know shit. But with you, that's a different story. With you, I know I can do everything. I know this is possible with you. That was a big game changer for me. When I turned within and I said, you know what? One, I'm going to go in and get whatever the fuck I want. I'm going to get the I love yous. I'm going to get the money. I'm going to get the health. I'm going to get the wealth. I'm going to give myself whatever the fuck I want. One. Two, I can't do shit with this little pea brain and this little Rose. She can't do shit alone by herself. She can't. But with God, God can do everything. And because God and I'm in God, you are in God. It's not God's in you, God's in me. We are inside of God. We're in God. So if we're inside of God, hello, we're just over here saying, I want this. I'm going to choose this. I'm going to be this person. I'm going to go give it to myself because I don't got to wait for nothing. I don't got to wait for no one. I just go in and give it to myself. I give it to myself, but I don't have to know how. I don't have to know how. I have no freaking idea how this is going to happen. But thank goodness that I'm not the one in charge of that. The how is not my problem. The how is not for me to figure out. By myself, I can't do it. And as soon as you guys admit that, you can't do this on your own. But you're not doing this on your own. If you feel like you're doing this on your own, that's why you're suffering. Because you're forgetting you're not separate from the one and only source. You're one with God. You're one with source. You're one with infinite intelligence that already has the answers right here, right now. And because there's only right here, right now, what are you waiting for? There is no tomorrow. There is no yesterday. Where do you think you're going? All the beliefs that you've held on to, they're just beliefs. Where do you think you're going? You're not going anywhere. So the time is right now. So you ask right now. I'm her right now. I'm that version of me right now. You're like, this feels like I've been doing this for hella long. Like, this feels impossible. This feels like I already fucking tried all this. This is just like, I'm just like, you know, is this some BS? Or like, I got this. Do you see? You're like, okay, got it. But until I change that line of thinking that it's impossible, that it's been years, it's been months, it's been decades, it's whatever, until I let go of that, that's going to continue being my damn story. So how much longer are you going to sit on the throne of I've done that, I've tried that, that's why it doesn't work? Because you got to get off of that, I've done that, been that, tried that, and it didn't work. You got to get off of that chair. And so that something else can happen, because until you do something different can appear. So when you realize, you're just like, you know what, I'm done thinking this way. It feels hard and impossible to let go of the story that I've been trying really hard and that I haven't seen any movement and that nothing's changing. It just feels exhausting. I feel like giving up, all this stuff. It feels hard to move away from that, because it feels like it's just been going on forever. It feels impossible, but remember, everything feels or seems impossible until it's not. So you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm going to go within and give myself whatever the hell I want. But this time is going to be different, because this time I recognize that it feels impossible. It seems impossible. This time, I recognize and acknowledge that I can't do it. That what I've been trying to do up until now is I've been trying to do it on my own. I've been trying to manifest and use techniques and hacks and magic tricks and all kinds of crazy shit. I've been trying to do all kinds of stuff and none of it's freaking working. Why? Because I thought I was doing it. You weren't doing none of it. And that's what you want to remember. I can't do it, but with God, I can. And the moment you're just like, thank you, you can come in now, open the door, allow Source to do its job. And now your only job is to keep the damn door open. And you keep it open by shutting your mouth, by stop asking, where is it? But. And I don't mean only out loud, I mean energetically. Like shut that shit down. Shut it down. Enough is enough. it feels impossible. I know it. I know it. And you can get pissed off and say, this is stupid. It feels hard. But you know what? It's okay, because that's what I am used to telling myself. And the other part is, I go in and give it to myself with the knowing that out of my own free will, I can't do it. But with God, all things are possible. And that is how you are able to be it to see it. Because you cannot have anything that you don't already have. And that is how you have it within. You go in, you give it to yourself. You don't ask anyone's permission. You don't wait around. There's nothing to wait for. Where the hell do you think you're going? There's nowhere for you to go. It's always now. You are in the ever present. That's what you are. It's not even now. That's even spiritual woo-woo crap. Really, it's just the ever present. It's the ever present. That's where you are. And there is that element of the reason why you want it is because you think you're going to feel something, or it's going to change your life in a certain way. Go change your life right now. Go within and change your life right now. Go within and see yourself and give yourself that experience right now. Go do it now. Whatever it is that you think you're going to get, go give it to yourself right now. Stop waiting for someone to give you shit. No one's coming to give you nothing. It's all you in your reality, and you're giving yourself anything and everything that you possibly want. But until you have it, until you are it, and there, it is really easy. You can just decide that you have it, and that's it. But remember, anything that comes after that is you creating a problem. There's no problem. There is literally not a problem with what you want. You're creating the problem by insisting that there is a problem, and then you try to look for the solution to your problem that you created. There's no problem. Stop looking for problems. Be still and know that you are God, and that God is there with you, helping you, guiding you, doing all the work for us. We're not doing shit. We're just going in and giving it to ourselves and allowing God to do all the work. And if you can't be okay with that just means you got to go further. The only rabbit hole you want to go down is thinking about how you are living in the ever presence. That's all there is. Because when you're really just sitting there contemplating the ever presence, that it's only now, the ever presence, then everything starts to make sense, that all creation is finished and that it's all here right now. You want to contemplate on that more and more until there is no answer. Until for how long? Until that's how long. Until, because you want to know, you're just like, you know what, you have this powerful source within you to go to ask any question, and he will give you any answer that you ask. There's no reason why you should be waiting, because there is no waiting. There is no time, so there's no waiting. There's no delay, because it's only now. So the only thing you're doing, there's no delay, there's only aligning. There's no delay, there's only aligning to your desire. And remember, you cannot have what you don't already have. So when you go in, you give it to yourself. Yeah, now you have it. You have it. It's yours. It's yours. It's done. I have it. I gave it to myself. Thank you very much. Then you're kind of like a little smug because you're walking around in your life. You already have it. Even if the money shows up or the person shows up, whatever, you're just like, yeah, I already have it. I already have it. It's like someone trying to give you tacos after you ate 30 tacos, and someone's here, you want some more tacos, you're just like, I'm good. You just feel so fulfilled. You're filled up. You're like, I already have it. And you go within and you keep doing that until you feel that satisfaction that you have it, you gave it to yourself. And if you're still missing, lacking, wanting, needing, then you go back within and you give it to yourself. You're just like, this isn't how it works. I don't wait for shit. I go in and give it to myself. That's how the universe works. All right. Bye.